We are starting to read the hand of a 20-year-old person, and his main question was, could you please tell what is more suitable, agriculture, daily related business or hotel related business? This is his main question that I would be answering, but before I start my video, I would request you to press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update. You can get a reading from me by calling me, or you can email me. These are the email and phone numbers that are mentioned out here. And now we straight away head to this particular hand image. See, the question regarding if a person can be good at any particular area, we have to first look at from the point of view of the agriculture. So the first thing to see for agriculture is the area of this particular, the area of Mars. This is the area of Mars negative and this is the area of Mars positive. So we don't have to look at the Mars positive area, even to some extent it's required, and the planes of Mars. And the third area, the second area is basically Venus. These two areas, if a person has got these two areas to be good, the chances brighten up for the person to be good in agricultural field. So we have to use common sense. Who can be good at agriculture business? So a person in dairy business or agriculture business, they are a little bit similar. So for that, they need to have very good health. They need to be really strong. And if they are not strong, the chances for them surviving in this particular business does not arise at all. So how do we see that this particular area is good? In his particular case, we find this is basically the lifeline I'm drawing out here, and there are one or two parallel lines that are running close to the lifeline. This is the lifeline, and these lines are running parallel to the lifeline. So these lines that I've just drawn out here, these are the lines of basically Mars. This is also known as the guardian angel line. This is also known as the supporting lifeline. Basically, the name could be different, but the meaning remains the same. It means that fighting spirit within this particular person. See, he has just asked me that can he be good in like agriculture, dairy or hotel business. It's not that every agriculture person might have these particular lines. But whenever we find these particular lines, it is a good sign in terms of agriculture. It's not just for agriculture, it could also be for a person who is a lawyer as well, because a lawyer basically needs fighting spirit. Mars is a red planet. Red means anger, aggression, fire. This area that I have encircled, this is the area of Mars, this is the area of fire. So a person who is into agriculture, they need to have that fire within them. If they don't, the chances of them surviving in this particular business does not arise. Apart from that, one more thing that is required for their hand to be is that the hand should be reasonably strong. A strong structured hand and strong palm. Basically the bones on the palm should be strong. If they are not, if the bones are not strong and the skin covering over it's not padded, it means that the person would not have hold over his own land. It could be own land, it could be your resources, it could be the people that are working under you, and it could be the situation. So a person who has a strong hand, it's not only agriculture, it would basically apply to all particular aspects of the life as well. So a person who has a strong hand, basically they would have a better hold over these particular things, and they would be able to do good in their work. And it is applying for all particular areas of his life. It's not only one, but all particular areas of his life it would apply. Now he talked about the hotel industry as well. The hotel industry, for the main thing in the hotel industry is the land. And if the area of your this Mars area is basically for land and properties, there are two areas depicting land and property. One is the area of Mars, and the second area is basically Saturn. Saturn is basically more to do with minerals and what you find below the earth. So we would not apply land and properties more to the Saturn, although in some way it does, but for farmers or for people who are in the business of hotel industry, they need to have a good Mars as well, because you have to fight against difficult people, difficult situations constantly. So Mars good would basically make their life much more easier, much better. It's not that their life is a cakewalk. These having a supporting lifeline doesn't mean that their life is a cakewalk. It would be an extremely difficult life. It doesn't mean that everything is going to be given to them in a platter. But what it basically, these lines means that however big the problem they might have in their life, they are going to survive and basically going to win over it. So this is a positive aspect as far as all the three professions goes. It's not one, but all three professions. Now if I zoom in into this particular palm, you would find that these are perpendicular lines, 2 or 3 4 lines that you see on the mount of Mercury. This is the mount of Mercury. Mercury in Hindi we say Budh. Budh means buddhi, it means knowledge. And any area, and you would notice that there are these lines that are moving towards the mount of Mercury as well. These are also Mercury lines, and there's a triangle like formation that is formed something like this. So it's forming with 3 things. One is the Mercury line. Mercury means the knowledge and the skill. Money line in itself means money, and the headline means the thought process. And the time from on the headline where this is formed is this intersection of the money and the headline. This intersection is basically age 35 on the headline. This is the headline that I'm referring to. So this portion of the line is the major time of one's life. This is after the age of 35. So I would say that this is neat and clean area on the headline, so the chances brighten up. There's a line that is cutting the money as well as the headline during the time that is around the age of 35. So some problems are going to come up somewhere at the age of 35, so those problems are going to remain, although there's a square like formation, so the person is preserved. But these parallel lines that I was talking about, these are good lines. These are independent lines. These lines are basically meaning that the person has knowledge, and that knowledge can be applied to any field of work. It's not one work, can be applied to even farming. See, even in these days, farming is taken up. Some people are doing traditional farming, but some people are taking up farming where more of technology is getting used. So this person would be able to use technology and use it for their benefit. And this is also the area of information. So this person would have great amount of information with him. Although you would notice that if we zoom in into this particular area, one line is prominent, the others are comparatively weaker. So each line basically, many people, when we find these parallel lines running 2 or 3 4 lines, it means a doctor. But it's not like always the person would become a doctor. It is basically lines of skill, and these independent lines means one set of skill. Each line means one. This is another set of skills. This is another. So weaker lines are the skills that the person has not sharpened. So this is what I would say. So the person needs to sharpen their skills, and things are going to be good. Now if we take a look at the sun line. Sun line is how much energies you will be able to give to your field of work. So this is the line of heart, and just about from the heart line, the line that is rising up towards the mount of sun, this is basically the sun line. And we find that this is a comparatively very strong kind of a line, and it becomes much more prominent somewhere. If this portion is 53, so this portion where it becomes prominent is around the age of 55. This is when things are going to be the best. It's not that if we don't find any sunline out here, it doesn't mean that there would be no career. It doesn't mean that. It just means sometimes when there's a no line, it basically means unlimited possibilities. So we just have to take a look at this particular area. If we find a strong line, then the chances of career brighten up even in the earlier period of their life. Now the third part is that we would take a look at the heart line. See, the heart line, people will tell you regarding your emotional life and many more things, your personal life as well. I'm going to be talking about not your personal life, but I would be talking about your career point of view on your heart line. See, the heart line is something like, it starts, there are a few breaks out here, there's a break, there's an overlap out here, you would notice, and then basically it moves forward and there are many branches over it. The break in the heart line sometimes see, I will just explain to you in a different way. Whenever we are doing some our profession or some work, we have to give our mind to it, but we also have to give our heart to our work. If we give energies to our heart, the things basically become better. So a consistent deep singular kind of a line would signify that the person would be able to give his heart to one field of area. But because when we find that there's a break-like formation, it means that there's a interruption, there's a stoppage. What it does is that there could be abrupt kind of a ending that might take place either in a relationship or in one's work. So it would be advised that whatever the person is doing, they have to remain committed, and if they remain committed, the chances basically brighten up. So this is the break part I'm talking about. Break in the heart line just under the sun finger. Sometimes the heart or eye related problems could be there, but it's not it's not very clear, so I wouldn't basically touch upon this much further. But break does mean some emotional turmoil as well, to some extent. Apart from that, these branches that you see out here, these branches, what they do is that, and this is a strong branch and these are comparatively weaker branch. So weaker branch or stronger branch, both these things basically mean that the person is getting distracted. Distractions mean the person is not focusing on their work, and that's the reason why they would not, if the person is not able to focus, the chances basically go down for success. So it would be advised that the person tries to commit himself to one field of area. These lines that you see branches on the heart line, these are basically meaning distractions. The person is getting distracted and the person is falling for temptation. Falling for temptation could be like a relationship, but we are talking about the work out here. So what it basically means is that if somebody comes up to this particular person and says, okay, why don't you try some other field of profession, there you're going to be much better. So what's going to happen? The person is going to get distracted. The person could be doing extremely good in his field of work, but still the person is going to get distracted. So it is advised that the person remains committed. If the person remains committed, everything is good. Now this particular line that we are seeing out here, these lines are lines of protection. These lines are protecting this particular person from these island breaks or any other harm that the person might come to him. These upward lines on the Mount of Jupiter from the headline basically means that these are good signs. This is a person reaching up to a higher position of honor. Lines that are a little bit going backward from the headline, meaning moving towards the Mars line. Mars is the area of aggression and fire, so mental aggression should be avoided. This would be my advice. And a mole on out here, this is on the Mount of Mars. This is the area of fire, so aggression should be controlled, I would say. A mole basically makes an area very significant. So the person who could get benefits, as well as there could be some negative aspects as well the person might have in his life. Now we just briefly take a look at, very briefly take a look at the left hand. Although left hand is not the active hand to refer to, but there are similarities in this particular hand as well. Strong sun line after the age of 53. 2 or 3 breaks on the lifeline just before the age of 35. Breaks are not generally considered to be good. These could mean loss of business or loss of service. It could be anything. There's a branching out of headline towards after the age of 35 on the headline. This makes a person a genius. These upward lines this thing basically brings in luck. And there's a Mercury line. These are good lines, which is the area of skill. So these breaks can be explained in a different way. Breaks on the money line could bring in losses and change in work. It need not be only your field of work. It could also mean something to do with the main earning member of your family. So the main earning member of the family, his health or wealth might get affected, so the person, more responsibility is going to come onto this particular person's head. First time it's going to happen somewhere at the age of 27, 28, and the second is going to happen somewhere at the age of 32, 33. That's it for now. In this particular area, lastly, there are very few lines over the area of Mars. You don't see these parallel lines that was running in the right hand. It's not there, but even lesser lines is considered to be a beautiful sign to have. Less lines over the area of Mars means that area would work the perfect way. And before I end my video, I just basically repeat one thing which I repeat in almost all my videos. It is, people want to know about money, possessions and wealth. You can come to know about money, possessions and wealth from almost all aspects of your palm. It could be heart, head, life, sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, or any other line. So it's not only money line we have to give importance. Money line importance is just 15%. Rest I've already talked about. Like I've talked even on the heart line, on the Mars line, everything basically is of importance. A saint once said, you do not need to go to an astrologer or palmist to know about your future, because you already know your future. Present is a result of past. How will be my future? Future depends upon what you are doing in the present. What are we? We are product of our thoughts. So the thoughts that come to our mind are really important. Keep positive thoughts and keep good company, because even if you have a good hand and you keep wrong company, then probably it's not going to benefit you. And even if your hand is not so good but you have good company, that's going to benefit you. Thanks, bye, and take care.